My first experience to heavy music, weirdly, was not the music, was the visual. I walked into a friend of my brother's bedroom, and he had all these posters on his wall with this creature that I now know as Eddie. And I thought, that looks pretty cool. So I checked it out. Obviously, it was Iron Maiden. And, Maiden just literally blew me away. And from there, I discovered everything else from AC/DC to all the other bands. I never looked back. But it's interesting, it was Eddie, the visual, that drew me in, first of all. I grew up in North Wales in a town with one record store. And it was a very good record store. But you'd go in there and there was no facility to listen to what you were buying. So you'd pick it up and you'd go off the sleeve. So things like Iron Maiden, you just thought, well, this looks cool. If you picked up Killers, you thought, I know what this is going to sound like. And obviously we weren't let down. So I think artwork's massively important. And obviously that's something which in the Spotify generation has got more and more difficult to appreciate for younger fans. But yeah, for me, picking up an album sleeve, taking a punt on it, and going with the visual. There is something which has remained in heavy music all the way through the decades. And for me, it's interesting that people don't just quite like heavy metal. People don't just quite like Slayer. You're a Slayer fan for life. And you don't necessarily get that with all genres of music. You do with some, but particularly with heavy metal, people are lifers. So what is it that creates that lifers? And it's something that's a feeling. It's aggressive music, and that aggressive music can be played by guitars or can be played by, turntables these days. But underneath all of that is that aggression, is that kind of, that ability to just get your emotions out as well. That for me, despite the way that music has gone, everything from new wave of British heavy metal through to Bring Me the Horizon, the constant for that has been that kind of sense of attitude, and also the sense of the outsider as well. That's the other thing I think that's prevalent throughout the whole metal scene, right through to, like I say, Bring Me the Horizon, Slipknot, whatever you want to say, whatever bands you want to look at. There's a constant in there as well. I think the word I would say is it's a release. And I think the need to release has changed as I've grown and matured over the years, but we still need a release. It's just a different kind of release. I'm a guy in my 50s. As a kid at age 15, the release was more teenage angst. I still need a release, and the release comes through the music as well. I remember my mother, and I saw my mother this weekend, and I said to her, do you remember when you told me that my love of AC/DC was a phase I was going through? Well, here I am, still going to see AC/DC. You don't go out of it. Metal's not just for Christmas, it's for life. But I think to answer your question, I think it's having a release for whatever's going on in your head. Whatever's going on, feeling like an outsider, feeling bullied at school, just having a crap day at work, whatever it is, it's a release. And you don't necessarily get that with more gentle kinds of music, I think.